Today, we are digging into a huge controversy swirling around the Turlock Unified School District in California and a multi-million-dollar construction project. This is the number at the absolute heart of this story. $8 million. That's how much a local watchdog group claims the school district lost in state funding, all because of what they say was a single, critical, and totally avoidable error. So how does something like this even happen? How does a school district just lose out on millions of dollars for a building project? Well, to figure that out, we have to follow the paper trail. And it's a long one, laid out in public records, news reports, and some pretty explosive whistleblower complaints. Okay, let's get into it. The whole controversy starts, maybe surprisingly, not with some grand financial scheme, but with a very, very specific rule about the size of kindergarten classrooms. Now, this isn't just a friendly suggestion from the state, it is a hard and fast requirement. If you want to qualify for millions of dollars in matching funds for new school construction, your kindergarten classrooms have to be at least 1,350 square feet. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And right here, this is the core of the problem. The brand new kindergarten classrooms at Osborne Elementary School, they were built to be about 1,300 square feet, just 50 square feet short of that state minimum. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but that small difference made the entire project ineligible for that state grant money. And that brings us to this accusation from Lacey Elliott. She's the head of the Bond Oversight Committee. That's a taxpayer watchdog group, and she's not mincing words. She's pointing the finger squarely at the district's superintendent of business services, Barney Gordon, for losing the community millions. But the district's official story? It's the complete opposite. In a statement, Turlock Unified flatly denied any financial loss. They said the project had zero impact on their funding eligibility. So right there, you have two totally conflicting stories. So which is it? Was this just a simple, honest mistake that nobody saw coming? Well, internal documents seem to suggest otherwise. It looks like key people didn't just know about the risk. They were warned about this exact issue long before it happened. So, take a look at this. It's part of a formal complaint from a former facilities planner named Martell Taylor. And the bottom line is this. This wasn't the first time the district ran into this exact problem. On a previous project, the same mistake was made, and Taylor says he had to spend months fighting with the state just to save that project's funding. And get this, after that first near miss, we have this email. The architect literally put it in writing, promising that this situation will not repeat itself again. I mean, it's a crystal clear acknowledgement of the mistake and a promise that it was a one-off. And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it. Years after that promise, here's an internal email from Assistant Superintendent Barney Gordon himself. He's warning his colleagues that the state has flagged the Osborne classrooms for being too small and that if it sticks, it would be a severe blow to the district's finances. The warning was coming from inside the house. The story could end there, right? A costly mistake, people were warned, it happened anyway. But this is where the story takes a much darker turn. This isn't just about a mistake anymore. It's about what allegedly happened to the people who tried to sound the alarm. The documents allege a really disturbing pattern here. You've got Martell Taylor, the planner who flagged the issue. He left alleging retaliation. But it goes further. There are claims about a previous business chief getting replaced after whistleblowing on something else. Even the volunteer committee members were allegedly threatened with lawsuits. It all points to what one complaint calls a culture of fear, where speaking up means your career is over. And this is a pretty stunning allegation right here. A complaint claims that after Mr. Taylor laid out his findings for the Bond Oversight Committee, a district consultant flat out told him he could be fired for talking about the lost money. Fired for, doing his job. You can really feel the human toll of this alleged culture in this statement. It's from the wife of another former TUSD official who claims her husband was harassed until he was forced to quit for being a whistleblower. She's defiantly saying, "Go ahead, sue us, we welcome it," because she believes it's the only way to force the truth out into the open. All of this begs a really critical question. Weren't there checks and balances designed to stop exactly this kind of thing from happening? Which brings us to the Oversight Committee itself. So this committee, think of them as the public's eyes and ears. They're an independent group of local volunteers, and their entire job, by law, is to watch how the district spends taxpayer bond money and make sure everything is above board. They're a critical line of defense for accountability.
But here's the breakdown. A complaint alleges that for over 5 years, from March 2019 all the way to May of 2024, the district was spending millions in bond money with no legally functioning oversight committee in place. The board just let the terms expire and never reappointed anyone. The watchdog was gone. It wasn't until a formal complaint was filed that the board finally got around to appointing new members.
And on top of that, there's this. A complaint has been filed alleging a major conflict of interest. The same consultant was apparently advising the district on its finances while also advising the very committee that was supposed to be independently overseeing that work. She was essentially playing for both teams, and an investigation into that is reportedly underway.
So when you have all these alleged institutional failures, it's no surprise that trust starts to crumble. And that's exactly what's happened, with frustrated parents and residents now taking their anger directly to the school board.
During a public meeting, one parent just laid it out there. They asked the board why more parents don't show up to complain, and then answered their own question. Because they're afraid. Afraid of retaliation against them or their kids if they dare to speak out.
And another parent connected this perceived lack of accountability directly to the safety of her child. She talked about her daughter being bullied, not just by other students, but by staff. She linked it all together, suggesting that a culture where big problems are ignored erodes faith in the entire system's ability to just keep kids safe.
So you see, at the end of the day, this whole story isn't just about 50 square feet in a classroom or a line item in a budget. It's about accountability. It's about transparency. It's about what happens when warnings are allegedly ignored, watchdogs are silenced, and parents feel they're too afraid to speak up. It leaves one big, lingering question for this community and its leaders.